Here we are, another Friday Night Live, July 20, where are we at? 28 today? 29? 28. I'm lost with the time. It's only time is now. Hope everybody's doing amazing. The year 2023. And we embrace all the changes that come in our way. There's many, many, many changes last few years. Big wake-up call for a lot of us. And revelations being revealed. Some choose to stick their head in the sand. I hear no evil, I said. I see no evil. All right. And it is what it is. But when we're living and loving it, fasting lifestyle, we're going to see things. It's just the way it is. Our antennas become amplified, and information is easily absorbed, especially in the dry fasting state, which is the only true fasting, right? Everything else we're just mimicking, but there's need and necessity for all the things we're doing in Master Fast realm to support the dry fast, especially today, more than ever, with all the bombardments of everything you can think of, right? Opposing the food, the water, the air, the frequencies. It's continual bombardments. And if we don't have a way to purge all these things, we'll just keep accumulating. And then something in the physicality ceases to work properly because it's overwhelmed by obstructions. The energy can't flow. It's just blocked. And if we can get that blockage freed up, loosened up, and start flowing again, then we start seeing moving back in the direction of balance. It's just that simple. That simple. Continuously, we want to be in a purging state, right? On a consistent weekly, bi-weekly, at least monthly basis. We want to be purging. What are most people doing? Accumulating 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, right? Accumulating. And then body ceases to function and life ends in this realm. If there's any questions, just pop them in anytime. So, this physical realm we're here to learn many things, to experience many things. And we all have a purpose and journey why we're here. Ultimately, it's a beautiful experience. There's beauty everywhere. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You can see beauty in everything. In everyone, there's beauty in everything and everyone. You just have to be able to see it. It doesn't matter what it is, there's beauty in everything and everyone. we sit back and pay attention, we start to resonate and see this beauty. That beauty is the plasma love always flowing. It's flowing through everyone and everything. And we have access to that if we choose the direction of balance. Imbalance and balance. Choose the road. They're two different roads. We have to make that choice as individuals, which way we want to go. And some of us, as I can say for myself, being arrogant, we're doing whatever things, and whatever, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There's laws of the universe that we can follow. We can choose to follow or not, and we can deny them. We can deny the laws of the universe, but is it going to help us? We can't escape the laws of the universe, cause and effect. We can't escape these laws, no matter how advanced people think they are. We cannot escape these basic laws, cause and effect. Right? Reap what you sow, karma, some people call it, and many other names I would assume in different languages. But ultimately, we want to always try and go be on that road of balance. That's where we're going to see beautiful things. We're going to feel our best. We're going to feel our best. Not when we're going through healing reactions, right? Once we're purging, heavy duty purging, we're not going to feel our best then. But we always come out stronger when we're consistent, persistent in living the lifestyle. If we want to invent it, we're going to get some results at that time. We're going to, and after, and as long as we don't go cuckoo, breaking the fast in an abomination, kill ourselves. But the beauty always comes in living the lifestyle, living it, loving it. It's not an easy thing for most people to do, as we've seen. Living in our modern society, we're being stimulated by all kinds of things all the time. Just think of when they brought up, cell phones. Compare that to the time when we didn't have cell phones, and how many times are we being bombarded, stimulated? Messages left, right, and center. Growing up, we had to go home. We had to be home at a certain time to get a phone call. So just think of that scenario when people didn't even grow up. The younger generation didn't even see that. They don't even understand what that is. It's a whole different ballgame than with the technology that's come out today. And is why we're seeing so many young people in trouble, because they're being stimulated, bombarded, left, right, and center, right from conception, from being in the womb, right? They're being continuously bombarded and stimulated. And that's a difficult way to grow up now. We see so many young people in trouble, so many suicides skyrocketed. Sad. The solution is the solution. Go back to nature, simplicity. All this smart devices, eliminate them out of your lifestyle. You don't need these smart devices. like all these appliances and everything. They're making everything smart. And smart doesn't mean it's intelligence. It just means you can be tracked. These things are not going to improve our life in any way, shape, or form. They will only enslave us. And you can see it very clearly how all this technology is moving in that direction to enslave us. How do we avoid this? Well, don't use this stuff. Go back to basics, go back to simplicity. If people want to have an instant message as soon as they send it to you, an instant reply, too bad. When I have time, I'll respond. There's no instant in anything. The only instant is the flowing, flowing from the divine. That's it, there in an instant. It always is, just is. Is anybody out there? What does it take for us to want to make changes? Pain is a good motivator for some, not for everybody. Not for everybody. There's a lot of people in pain and severe pain. And hey, TY, how you doing? There's a lot of people in pain and they still won't make changes, right? They just go from one white jacket to the other white jacket to the other white jacket and expecting a miracle by whatever procedures or magic potions and lotions. It's when you're in a social circle. Hey, Marco, when you're a social circle that is heavy duty partying and eating and so on, it's difficult for pretty much most people, pretty much everybody, to be in those situations all the time and not be affected, right? Environments dictate outcome. I was talking about a little bit on Wednesday. Somebody sent me a short clip of a Joe Rogan interview where he's talking about the experiment they did on some rats and mice. And they put cocaine and heroin in the water, and the mice and the rats, they don't want to do anything except drink the water, get smashed. They don't want to eat, they don't want to do anything. So yeah, this was, they put the rats in cages, right? And they gave them this water. So that's all they want to do. And then one guy says, well, this is not their natural environment. So they redid the experiment in big, huge, massive, I don't know if it was a cage or a house, I can't remember. And they put all natural things, bushes and trees and toys, and they made it like their natural environment. And the mice and the rats hardly touched the cocaine and the heroin water. Environments dictate outcome. We've been saying this for 8+ years, and there's a reason for it, because environments do dictate outcome. If we're going to hang around people that are drinking and smoking and eating anything and everything, what's going to happen? We are going to be influenced, and we're going to be affected by being around those people. It's just the way it is. And unless you're superhuman to, say no, 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 it's going to start affecting you eventually. And for me, I was, almost a decade of 100% raw. I went through those scenarios, and I was still going to bars, watching bands, and everybody's drinking and smoking. I wasn't doing any of that stuff. I wasn't even drinking any alcohol, any wine, nothing in that time. And I just had a very strong desire um, to not want to be bedridden again after that experience, right? So I stayed committed, very, very, very strict on that path, and was a great teacher, But staying in that environment, you get influenced. You're gonna it affects you. Environments dictate outcome. We'll keep saying that over and over again. So if you're in a beautiful, hey Gene, if you're in a beautiful natural environment 24/7, you have animals, you have trees, you have all nature, water, whatever, in the mountains, you think you're going to be craving to use smartphones or computers, or wanting to, do any of the nasty stuff. No, when you're in nature, it's such a beautiful, peaceful place to be. Everybody feels better in nature. Everybody feels better. It's just so, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like it tranquilizes you, it's the plaf that's running through from the divine that we can tap into, and we feel better. Sunshine. Everybody feels better when there's sunshine, right? Smiles on people's faces, when it's cloudy, raining, and cold, and snow. When the sun's shining, even this cold, really brisk cold days, still it's much better than when there's clouds and snow blowing and so on and so forth. Nature is a beautiful place to be all the time, as much as we can. Living in a big city, I don't know how much longer, but it's it's all right. You can make your little, if you have a little yard, you can do a lot of nice things, and planting and so on and so forth, and make it comfortable. But there's always the noise of the city. There's the hum. When we were all locked up, the last few years ago, it was such a peaceful, beautiful state that we were in. It was just like nice. The hum was gone because nobody was moving. Everybody was at home. That noise of the city was halted completely. That was the only time we've ever experienced that inside the city, in my life anyway. And just imagine if the whole planet would take a couple of days off a week, and just everything gets shut down. Can you imagine how much better everybody would feel just connecting with nature? Quiet everything down. The hum of the city. A friend of mine was telling me about a slideshow he saw many years ago about, they were showing slides of cancer cells, and then they showed satellite images of big cities, and it looks the same as the cancer cell. So environments dictate outcome. If you're in a state of severe imbalance, when you were diagnosed with whatever fictitious diseases you want to throw at us. What's the best way to overcome is, living, loving it, being in a natural environment if you can. And if you're in your home and you can't, move, or for whatever reason, there's endless reasons, you can make your home environment and mimic nature as best you can. Put plants in the house. You can play nature music, 432. You can plant things outside. You can do many, many, many things, right? When I painted the house the first time, I put ocean water. I mixed a little, I think it was about 1 ounce of ocean water in 1 gallon of paint, and I mixed it in. And I remember, when people would come into the house and they would say, "Wow, the energy in here is nice." And all I did was put ocean water in the paint. You can do with crystals. You can pulverize some crystals and throw that in. You can, what else can you use? Ocean water's got all the elements, right? So it's awesome. So it's never going to go away. It's always in the walls once you do it, unless you rip the walls off. That ocean water is always there. Just imagine. Simple things you can do. Simple things. Ozone, we love ozone. Lots of people can't handle ozone. And because they say ozone is poison, right? People listen to that stuff. Myself, and I know several people have we've been using ozone for decades. I can breathe in large amounts of ozone, no problem, no issue. Not when I started. Took a few years before you can breathe it in. Skunk, the smell of skunk. If anybody's got asthma, smell some skunk. It's going to help you out. People say, "Oh, no, it's this." It opens up the whole breathing system, the nasal passages, the lungs. It opens it up. If anybody's got breathing problems, go breathe skunk. Just instead of being repulsed by the smell, tap into the plath of that smell, because it's all of the divine. And if you can bypass the program that skunks stink, you can breathe it in. When driving, skunk season, you can smell it around driving in the country and so on. Ah, thank you. Just breathe it right in. It's just amazing. Skunk. Who would ever thought? So yeah, if anybody has any problems, puffers and stuff, skunk. I don't know if you'd want one for a pet. Amen, namaste. But yeah, that smell of skunk is amazing. My daughter sends me a picture of family of skunk crossing her street there. It was a few weeks ago. It's like 8 or 10 of them. Skunks. It wouldn't be pleasant to be sprayed with one, but it's not, like I said, even if you were sprayed with it, it's very, very strong if you were sprayed. But Pachamama, it's interesting. If anybody has experienced that, the skunk helping them breathe, send a message, post it, because I'm not the only one. I have a friend of mine who said the same thing, and he's also into natural healing and so on and so forth. He says, yeah, skunk helps people. It's not bad for you. So everything can be used for medicine, pretty much. But the ultimate medicine is subtraction, not addition. So, we take that whiff of the skunk. What's it doing? It's unblocking obstructions, so energy can flow and we can breathe. That's all it's doing. It's not rocket science. It's simple stuff. These good old skunk. We can bottle that smell, not synthetically. You don't want synthetic stuff. It's got to be 100% natural. We could bottle it somehow, like an essential oil, without harming the animal. What do you think about mosquitoes? That's that's an interesting insect. What's their purpose? Well, they have a purpose. They're food for other animals. Bats and other animals eat them. They're not pleasant to be around, that's for sure. When they're biting you, they're going crazy. But I've shared this before. Last time I was in Italy with my parents, my father and myself did 30-something days on grapes, just eating grapes, and we were doing herbs. My dad had a heart condition, so said, that's the best place. We're going to Italy. They have the best grapes. Let's do it there. And he agreed. So we were eating grapes, big, black, beautiful seeded grapes. Just like when you bite into them, you choke on how much juice comes out of these grapes. It's just like, wow. So anyway, we're eating these grapes, and there was a forest not far, so we'd be going for walks in the forest, and we'd be going to the beach every day, right? So there's lots of mosquitoes in the forest, lots of mosquitoes. After about a week or something, both my dad and myself noticed, as we're walking in the forest, all these mosquitoes are buzzing all around us. They didn't touch us at all. They did not touch us. My mother was not on the grape and she was getting bitten. So she didn't want to come out for those walks in nature. So me and my dad went, and back at the little apartment, they're getting eaten in there as well. You get them coming into the house and they're buzzing around at night. They didn't touch us. They would not bite. So what does that tell us? Environments dictate outcome. We'll go back to environments, right? What environment we create, that's going to be attractive to mosquitoes. So we can create an environment that mosquitoes are not attracted to. So they're just, buzzing around doing their thing, and they won't bother us. They'll bother somebody else. Isn't that amazing? So that was on grapes. You know, I was one who would be bitten first and the most, you know, growing up, getting mosquito bites like crazy. But, you know, you eat heavy duty obstructive diet, you're going to get, you know, you're going to get bitten. It's so hard to live in Italy and not eat all that pasta. Grains. Yeah, I love the taste of, you know, the grains and stuff, but my body no like the grains. No pasta, you know. Every once in a while I have it and I don't like the way I feel. So I avoid it as much as I possibly can. You know, every once in a while, and whatever, it's at somebody's place or whatever, I have a little bit. But there's so many things that are way better than pasta. So many things. You know, I'd rather have durian than pasta. We're getting some Vietnam durian coming in. I haven't seen that before. It's showing it's only 8% fat. It's low for durian. I guess there's you know, it goes up to like 30% or more, depends on the variety. But it's a really nice durian. I don't know the name of it. Jackfruit. Jackfruit's got that tutti frutti. Wrigley's Tutti Frutti bubblegum, right? That's where they got the flavor from. They got it from jackfruit. That's that flavor. Um, you know, cherries. I've been eating cherries for more than a couple of weeks now. Just lots of cherries, cherries, cherries. I love cherries. So awesome. There's so much beautiful things to eat. You know, for myself, when eating, if I don't have any fruit the day I'm eating, I'm not going to be a happy camper. It's just because, you know, become sensitive after years and years of, you know, eating the lower obstructive, plant-based, mostly plant-based. You know, when I go off track, you know, I feel it. I feel it big time. You know, it's each one has to choose the level of obstructiveness they want to live. I can't choose it for you, but we can only suggest if you want to go on the road of rejuvenation and healing. We know what works. We know what works. We've seen thousands of people go through it. We know what works. Do people stick to it? That's up to them. If they want to live it as a lifestyle. I seriously cry when I think of my loved ones eating beef. There's a lot worse things than beef. What about all the chemicals and stuff people take? So sad for those beautiful beings. Yeah, I know. It is what it is. You know, the one cow can feed so many people. It's one soul. You get a plate of beans, and that's hundreds or thousands of souls. And on the higher level, you know, higher order, we have to look at things differently. But everything is alive, and that's why we say fruit is the least karmic when we're consuming fruit. The tree gives freely, drops the fruit, and if we spread the seed, you know, we're not harming any souls at all. So this is why fruit is such a beautiful thing. I love eating fruit. I love eating fruit. You know, I love eating. Generally, I love eating, but fruit makes me feel the best after eating fruit versus anything else. Anything else. Doesn't matter any other plants. Fruit is by far the easiest for the body to process. You too, Adrian. You too. If you listen to the body, if you're, doing any kind of fasting lifestyle, and you listen to the body, you will see clear as day, fruit is the easiest on the body, by far, by far. Can we be 100% fruit? We can be if we want, we choose. Most of us will not go down the road of complete fruitarian, right? Just fruit. Here in the greater TO, we have fruit being shipped from all over the world. And if that ever stops, it'll be very difficult to do a fruitarian diet in the dead of winter. I'm eating fruit for breakfast and dinner these days. Yep. Awesome. Fruit is your meal. Just eat enough to satisfy you. Or each one will be different, but we don't have to stuff ourselves, right? We don't want to stuff ourselves. Less is more lifestyle. When you're, living and loving it, you'll notice that you don't need a lot of food to satisfy you. It's only when we're obstructed. The more we eat, the more we want to eat. I shared that article of that guy who's couldn't be satisfied with anything. They just kept feeding him. He would eat anything. Live cats and rats and dead rats, and he would eat anything. And he couldn't satisfy his hunger. It's just amazing story to show you that the more you eat, the more you want to eat. The more hungry you get. The more you drink, excuse me, the more thirsty you get, the more you want to drink. It's when we understand it's about obstructions that drive these cravings, then we say, okay, if obstructions drive the crazy, then if I remove the obstructions, then the cravings should go away. And if the cravings go away, then I should be able to access all forms of energies. I don't need to rely on only this. We love eating, but we love fasting way more. So, choose your level of obstructiveness. We suggest to live it and love it. We suggest to eat minimal and, mostly fruit diet. If you want to do leafy greens and vegetables, if you want to do grains, you're going to feel it. If you want to do all the heavy legumes and stuff, you're going to feel it. If you want to do the fleshes, you're going to feel it. Fats being the most obstructive, proteins are right behind it. And then you have your, legumes, which are, protein, plant-based stuff is easier than animal-based, but still obstructive. And then you have your grains, very inflammatory, especially the grains of today, the way they're grown and so on and so forth. They're very, very inflammatory. So we want to consume things that are not going to give us those inflammations, feelings. Fruit, right? Yeah, avocado is fruit, but it's high fat, 70% fat, obstructive. I can't eat avocados anymore. My body reacts pretty negative with avocados. Even if I have a small amount, I may have a little bit every year or so, and then I say, why did I eat it for? I don't need to eat this. There's so many other things we can eat. Olives and durian, and they have a little bit of fat. Everything has some, not everything, but most things have a little bit of fat. There are fruits that have no fat at all. But the fat comes from mostly the seeds, right? That's where the oils come from, the seeds. The olive oil comes from the seed, not from the fruit. and all the other oils is all from the seeds. So I don't know, we're just going from topic to topic, but learn to live it, learn to love it, and everything will be Irie. It's 9:40. I'm gonna call it a night. It's been a long day, and I will see you back on the page. And next call will be Wednesday, Facebook Live, if I can make it. Should be able to. Just been busy these days. And ciao. Continue sending the plaf. And keep living it. Keep loving it. Ciao.